Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Raptors Den presented to you by Faulty Logics. You're here with me today is Peter and myself, Dan. And yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about since our last episode.
Oh yeah, some great stuff happening in the NBA world here, Raptor fans and NBA fans. So let's just jump into the nitty gritty here right now. Starting it off with the local Raptor team. Some great games has happened here in the last since the last podcast here. Primarily the Detroit Pistons game.
Oh yeah.
That was a barn burner from the beginning to the end. Not the way the Raptor fans liked it to end, but even before getting into that one, I don't like making excuses, but we were hit by the injury bug pretty significantly here recently. With Norman Powell going down, Serge Ibaka wasn't playing in the last game there.
Mhm.
There's been some nicks and bruises to Fred Van Vliet, who's trying to come back. Delon Wright has been in and out of the
Has
lineup as
always been in
well.
and out.
He's just not reliable. Kawhi Leonard still not doing back to back games, minute managing not as significantly as Popovich does in the Spurs and stuff, but
Mhm.
still you can tell he's not playing his 40-minute games yet.
Right.
Or if he even will this season, we'll just gotta see what we can get from him. But going into the Raptors game and in the Raptors versus Pistons, it was a monumental game here. It was the return of Dwayne Casey, the greatest Raptors coach so far to date in franchise history, coming back to the the Scotia Bank Arena, whatever. Coming back and actually they had a really good warm moment for him during the first TV timeout. Not sure, Dan, if you got to see that or anything of that nature, but it was really good. They did a quick video mantra, and some nice words were said. Kyle Lowry and Jonas Valanciunas gave him a standing ovation. Left Nick Nurse's huddle and just started watching the video.
Hmm.
Applauded Dwayne Casey. I don't know if that shows disrespect to the now coach, to the past coach, but I thought it was a great moment in Raptor history. Yeah, for sure.
I think respect is respect. Like you pretty much played with him your entire career as a Raptor.
Jonas
So
Valanciunas has only played for Dwayne Casey. He came when he
right.
was a rookie.
And Lowry joined when Casey was a head coach and
Exactly.
has only had that head coach as a Raptor.
And
So you gotta pay your respect to the man that took you as far as you did.
exactly. And I have to give credit for realistically, Dwayne Casey like resurged Kyle Lowry's career. Like Jonas
Yes.
Valanciunas was nobody because he was a rookie when he
Right.
came. But Kyle Lowry bounced to two or three teams prior to even coming to the Raptors. Was really never an all-star fledged player, but now under Dwayne Casey's coaching, he was a perennial all-star every single year for the last 4 years out of 5 years that he was with Dwayne Casey. So
Yeah.
you gotta give him credit for that. So, I don't know. I liked the game as a whole. It was good to see as a Raptor because we had a dominating game throughout the whole game, the first three quarters. We were up by a 19-point lead in the third quarter, and then the collapse began. Um, I'm not too sure what I can attribute to that collapse. I don't know if it was bad coaching, not good play calling, ineffectiveness down the court, down the line there.
Dwayne Casey defense.
Dwayne Casey's system defense. Blake Griffin went off for 30 points and like 14 boards in that game or something. So
Yeah.
he had a day. Kawhi Leonard had about 4 turnovers in the last quarter, which is not what you want from a closer.
And of
Um,
course, the turnover in the final was
my
it 15 seconds?
Final 10
10
seconds.
seconds?
It was unbelievable for somehow. And actually, before we even get to that 10-second turnover, he missed a foul shot that would have put us up by one. He
Yeah.
did hit the second one to tie the game, and we went on defense, got the stop that we needed, but
Yep.
this turnover wouldn't have been obsolete if he hit the goddamn foul shot. Whatever. I know pressure is a bitch, but if you guys haven't seen that game, just probably Google or go on YouTube Kawhi off his foot, and this would be the first one to come up.
Dude, it was. I was watching the game and like, as soon as it happened, it's just like face and palm.
Oh man, it was honestly 10 seconds left, dribbling the ball up the court. I was texting all my buddies saying, "This is the reason why we got him. We have a coach, not a better coach, but an offensive-minded coach,
Yeah.
who would be able to draw up these last-minute plays where this just wasn't Dwayne Casey's strong suit to finalize plays."
Mhm.
Or finalize the last shot kind of plays. So I thought we had it in the bag. I was already doing my victory dance. It was looking good. But then Kawhi turns the corner and dribbles it off his shoe. Like, I don't like to say rookie mistake because rookies that's fine. This was high school basketball,
Dude.
grade 9 basketball kind of stuff.
You could tell it from his own face.
Oh man, that was
Like-
just he didn't know what happened. He had absolutely no idea what happened. I don't know. What did you see on that last turn of the corner when he was trying to go to the hoop?
Honestly, like it was just a weird way to dribble in because he dribbled to the inside, right where his foot was stepping. So it was he's dribbling with his right hand, and he dribbled off of his left foot that was stepping in.
Yeah.
So it's like it looked like he was just about to turn and cut sharply towards the net, and just a bad placement of the dribble.
And just did not know what he was doing at that time, which surprises me because Kawhi is so sure-handed with the ball. Well, it helps that he has freaking monstrous hands,
Right.
but it's something that you just never really see, especially from a guy of his caliber.
Maybe it's just some of the ring rust since he hasn't been playing for like a year and a half.
That is, hey, that would have been his first game-winning basket since like what 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Raptor fans, don't burn us down yet. Don't be burning Kawhi jerseys yet or anything. It was a turnover. To be honest with you, like, I don't even know. I don't
Right.
even know what to say about it. It was just absolutely devastating. But I have to give credit to Dwayne Casey because he had to take advantage of that turnover.
Yeah.
Let it go. It was still a tie game. We could have went to overtime.
Yeah.
But Dwayne Casey did something that he could never really do as a Raptor coach, and he drew a last-minute bucket play, like a last-minute second under the hoop kind of play, which was great. He drew up 2 of them, actually.
2 attempts. Well,
Yeah.
I think the second one they kind of had to improvise
Yep.
because they didn't have a timeout. But the first one was a side out. They tried to do a alley oop inbound pass. I think it was Siakam or Anunoby.
It was Pascal that
Pascal,
made the
yeah.
defensive stop.
He made an amazing stop.
Defensive stop of the year so far.
Crazy.
Like, in all honesty, that play by the Pistons was a good drawn-up play.
Yes.
The alley-oop pass was on point. It went to Drummond, I believe. I'm not too sure who was trying to finish it.
I don't know who it was, but it wasn't a big player.
It wasn't a big player, but it was
Not
a
that I
good-looking play.
Yeah.
But Pascal, he got hung up on the screen, but he with the closing speed and the agility, he still made the play, which was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I give him credit.
And then with like 2.5 seconds left, they got another inbound play from the baseline, and got a nice little
Easy little floater, like not even a
little
floater, but like a fall away shot from Randy Bullock. On that last secondary play, I have to credit more Jose Calderon than Dwayne Casey on that last play.
another former Raptor.
Another former Raptor. I love Jose Calderon. He is still one of my favorite Raptors of all time. Even though he wasn't a good player, but he was just a player's player, like a role player that you build, that you like to build with.
Fans love him.
Oh, fans love him. He was a great player, great guy in the locker room, good media, good community involvement. He's not a player you build around, but he's a player you build with. He is a great building piece. But then they put him in at the very end of the game. He didn't play too much in that game at all. And first option wasn't there. Second option wasn't there. Now you're starting to think you're 3 seconds in, 4 seconds in. Most people panic, call a timeout, just throw the ball in. No. Jose, calm, cool, and collected, knew the third option would be there, found Randy Bullock cutting to the lane, made the play, got the bucket. Bob's your uncle. Raptors lose. Pistons get a nice, huge win that puts them over 500.
And
Now
Casey-
they're 7-6.
Casey celebrates as if he won a playoff championship.
Oh man, that was the biggest game in his career for him to date. Like it was the one that he wanted the most.
Yeah.
It was the one that the Pistons wanted for him. It was an all around good moment for Dwayne Casey, which I don't feel bad about, because really the Raptors are going to rebound. We're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, probably, knock on wood. And I think it's just one of those building block games that we just have to build off of now.
Yeah. I'm excited about what makes me excited about this game is the next game that's coming up when we have DeRozan coming back to Toronto.
Yes,
And
that's
if he has
another
that
one.
kind of a fire to beat us as well too, just to kick our ass.
You know he will.
Oh, come on, man.
But then again, we have our own kind of fire built into that. Why doesn't Kawhi have the fire to beat the Spurs that were bitching him around with the injury?
But it's the fact that DeRozan's coming back home court.
Yes.
That's what I want to
And granted, DeMar got more of the shaft because
Yeah.
he wasn't looking for a trade. He just got the blowback
Yeah.
from the trade. Kawhi wanted out.
Yeah, I do want to see Kawhi back in San Antonio.
Yes, that will be a game as well.
That.
Do you think he will be booed?
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe he's not Raptor fans because Raptor fans would boo him no matter what. If
Yeah,
that was us, like we would boo him for 8 years, like we did Vince Carter. Like,
Yeah.
without a question. I don't know. I don't know if he would get booed. I
I
wouldn't be
think-
surprised.
Just based on how he left, this was worse than Vince Carter leaving Toronto.
Equal.
'Cause Vince Carter, like, at least he played and like had injuries and played and had injuries. Like Kawhi just straight up said, "No, I'm not playing."
Yeah. That's true. No, that's fair because Kawhi did that for like a whole season, where Vince only did that for the end of the season. He was
Right.
playing through injuries, quote unquote. But he said "screw you" in like a month before when playoffs were not even in question. Like we
Right.
weren't going there. But then Kawhi said "screw you" now in like November when the season's still very much in grasps.
Right.
So, me personally, I'd boo the crap out of Kawhi. Yeah,
Hell
me
yeah.
personally, but I don't know how San Antonio fans would feel. They're
I
not
just
really big.
acquired Kawhi Leonard in a fantasy basketball trade.
Mm.
Traded John Wall.
Who gave you Kawhi for John Wall?
Right.
That's an idiot.
Fantasy basketball guru.
Oh my god, you must have swindled. You must have some blackmail pictures on him or something. I don't know. But like I was saying here, the Raptors would rebound, and we should be going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Knock on wood. But the only real stepping stone that is in the way of us going to the finals is really now the new Philadelphia 76ers with the new acquisition that they made, which was in rumors from like July that this guy was going to get dealt and never got dealt
Yeah.
until a week ago.
They've been one of the teams that really wanted to get him
They
amongst.
had to.
Like it was the Sixers and Miami that were
Miami.
really trying to pursue him.
Yep.
And nothing was going through. I think the Timberwolves were asking way too much, and then it got to a point where like I think Jimmy Butler's just like, no, I'm done, man.
Yeah.
Get me the hell out of here.
He put a Kawhi and he said like, man, I don't want to deal with you, Thibodeau. I don't want to deal with you, Cat. I don't want to deal with you, Wiggins. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And then the 76ers pulled the trade of the year so far. They dealt out Robert Covington, Dario Saric, who was actually a very big piece of the 76ers. I
Yes,
couldn't believe that
yes.
Saric
I was
left.
surprised about that.
I was big. As well as Jared Bayless, a former Raptor.
Yeah.
Raptors are everywhere nowadays, right? Damn. For Jimmy Butler, who is finally leaving the Timberwolves after a terrible year and a half, 2 years of just a terrible experiment there. And another player, I don't remember who it was, but it was
Yeah,
just
it was
a role
like
player.
nothing.
Jackson was, I don't know. It
Okay.
doesn't even matter.
So about the Jimmy Butler trade, before we get into this, I know you mentioned like he had enough of like Thibodeau, Cat, Wiggins or something. Apparently, him and Wiggins are cool.
Supposedly, I heard that as well with Joel Embiid.
Okay, did you hear the main reason about his beef with Cat? Did you hear rumors about this?
Just all I heard was that he felt Cat was too soft as a
Okay.
big man. That's what I've heard.
Okay,
I don't
so
know if that's what we were talking
This is dating back to like last season at some
Mhm.
point. Apparently, there's rumors that Jimmy Butler has been sleeping with Cat's girlfriend or something like that.
about. Now that you say that, I remember you sent me an article or a meme of that taking place. It wouldn't be the first time in a basketball locker room that someone's girl was sleeping with a teammate.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not going to be the last time that was a rumor in a locker room. Is it true though?
Based on the things that I've seen, like you have Cat, who we consider as a millennial.
Yep, definitely.
He acts very millennial-like. And during the time that these things were happening, I think Jimmy Butler was in Italy at the same time Cat's girlfriend was in Italy. And Cat started sending out these like text messages, or not text, tweets that were a bit cryptic. And but Jimmy Butler the whole time he hasn't acknowledged it or denied it. He just stayed quiet about it, right? So before coming from him, it's kind of like I just want to see what happens, you know? Like for him to not even deny this between him and his teammate, Like, I think it's a huge fuck you to Cat. Like, it's hilarious
Honestly,
to me.
I think it's
You gotta feel
Cat.
bad for Cat,
I
but
do, but I really don't though. It's like the situation where something similar happened with Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher back in the day when Derek Fisher was sleeping with Matt Barnes' ex-wife, and then Matt Barnes rolled up on Derek Fisher and like tried to beef him, and it wasn't happening. I don't really feel bad for Cat. It's I don't even know. I don't know who I feel bad for. If it is true, I feel bad for the situation. I feel bad for the girl. She should never have done that. Like,
I
shake your head at her.
I
Like,
never feel bad for the girl because I feel like all these girls are just gold diggers anyways.
of course,
Yeah.
they are just
So, like, I don't care about
hoes
the
ain't
girl.
loyal. We all know that, but like I don't feel okay. Let me rephrase. I don't feel bad for her.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm disappointed in her, but like it's just damn. Like give your head a shake, girl. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You have an NBA player, maybe okay, whatever. Cat's kind of gangly looking, like he's whatever. Like Jimmy Butler's not much better, anyways. But like, what are you doing? Just
I don't know. Maybe she thought Cat was too soft.
shit. That is hey. She needed a real man. Hey, Jimmy Butler is a real OG too.
True.
Like he ain't playing. I don't know. Like honestly, it's one of those things. Like sleep with another basketball player, but in the locker room,
Yeah.
in the same organization. Why? There are hundreds of basketball players, and when you're dating one, you get access to these shindigs. Like you're probably on WAGs. You probably have like a Facebook group or something stupid. There's something. You can get other players. You go for a teammate, the guy that they spend 18 hours a day with. Like they wake up, go and train, and then game day, and like, come on, girlie.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
So
Dude.
dumb. But like honestly, moving beside that, I hope it's not true. I sort of do hope it is true, but like I don't really care.
It would make a lot more sense.
It would.
Because if it's just as simple as the money issue or just Jimmy Butler saying like he's too soft, he's not playing as hard as he should be, like that's something you can change.
Yeah, that's not.
But you can't fix something like this.
No, that
Right?
is bonds are broken.
And you can clearly tell from interviews with Karl Anthony Towns that he hates Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Like they're not friends.
No.
Like Wiggins, he's cool with Jimmy.
Yeah, actually, there was
Like, they're
a
still
quote.
fooling around on the court and everything.
There was a quote there because Joel Embiid, when they heard the deal was done, he reached out to Andrew Wiggins to just talk to him about Jimmy Butler. Who can we expect? What are we expecting? And Andrew Wiggins was quoted saying that you guys have just got a championship player. Like you got a guy that's going to bring you to the championship, and he has that mentality that you can't teach players. Like he has that Kobe mentality who just knows how to win games.
Right.
If I was a guy and I hated the guy, I would never say that. I'd be like, you got a bitch. Done. Easy. Hang up. Good luck, Joel.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking my trash.
Yeah.
But no, Wiggins has respect for Jimmy. And honestly, I think most players do have respect for Jimmy Butler because it was more or less the money that really, from what I can see from the outside, if it is besides the cheating scandal, it really looked like Minnesota didn't have money to pay him. And he wanted money, which is fine. Going to the 76ers, he won't have money there because there's not money to pay him either. But at least if you have a chance of a ring, people would take a high chance of a ring for $4 or $5 million less a season. With Minnesota, there was no ring coming in the next 5 to 7 years. There was no money coming for him at all at the end of the season. Why am I staying in a little market of Minnesota to do nothing and get buried in snow? Forget that.
Right. Now I want to stay on Minnesota first. My guy, D Rose.
Okay.
Okay. We saw that 50-point game.
Yes, we all did.
He had a couple of games where he sat out. Obviously, everyone was still being like, oh, look, he sat out, blah, 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 right? Look, to be honest, when you're used to playing like 15 minutes a game and stuff like that, and then you come back and you play 40 minutes and score 50, your body's going to hurt a bit for a while.
Especially when your body hasn't had a full NBA season since 2015.
Right. So some of that, like, you kind of expect it. And he came back and he's still balling.
Yes.
He's still balling. At the end of the season, if you're a GM, would you pay him? Would you pay him good money?
It depends on what you mean by good money.
Well, right now he's getting minimum contract.
Which is fine. Okay, I would pay him more than that, but I'm looking at $5 to $7 million a season, and that's capping it out.
Really?
That's capping it. You, do you know how
Can't
much
do 10?
wear? Do you know how much wear is on these tires? And yes, he's coming back, but like he is not a $10 million kind of player. He is still going to give you 20, 25 minutes a game when he's playing full 100% basketball. He's still not giving you those 30, 35-minute games. Like, Derrick Rose, I love you. I hope you do come back to full strength, but you're not what you were back in 2014, 15, 16. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
I still believe in him, but
Yeah, would you pay him $10 million a season?
If I'm him, I would give him a 30 mil 3-year contract.
Yeah.
I could give him a 3-year contract. I believe him. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't do a 4 mil or 5 year.
No.
I don't think that I have that many years in him, but I'll give him 3.
I don't know. I would like to see it year by year. If he would go by a year contract, I would give him 4 or 5 million a year.
I feel like with
Max
D Rose,
7.
he's probably gonna get 1 to 2 year contracts.
And that's all I can.
Right?
That's all I would believe in him for. And it's not the fact that it's not belief in it. It's especially with a basketball contract. It's what have you done for me lately? That's what we're gonna pay you for. And then I hate it as well because it doesn't give the players the benefit of the doubt. It's what have you done lately? Even if you've done really well lately, they still look at your past and they still book that.
Yeah.
So the only one that really cashed out really perfectly was Norman Powell. He got paid for what he was doing for him recently, and they didn't look at his track record at all. And now look at him. Unfortunately, it was a bad injury. He got injured, but now 4-year, $45 million or $44 million contract. Are you kidding me?
It's terrible.
Oh man, I still that contract was the worst contract in history.
Yeah.
But going back to the Butler deal in the 76ers, he made his first debut here a couple of days ago. Had a respectable game. It was 14 points, 2 dimes, 4 boards. His defensive prowess on the court was very evident on the game as well. But the one thing I want to credit Jimmy Butler to the 76ers, he opened the floor up for everybody else.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons didn't have to dribble the ball way too much. Joel Embiid got a triple-double, his second triple-double of his career, first one of the season, first game with Jimmy Butler. Could that be signs that Joel Embiid has a little bit more openings now? He has a little bit more space. You can't just tee off on Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons as much anymore because now you have to watch out for Butler, watch out for Fultz if he ever gets a shot back. They were pretty deep now.
I think a lot of it has to do with the guys that they did trade away. You want to love Rocco.
Oh, I love Rocco.
You want to love Saric.
Oh, Saric is good.
But when you watch them play, they make a lot of mistakes. They're not the smoothest players. When you watch Jimmy Butler play, he's a lot more refined. And I think that helps the team out a lot. They lose a lot of depth on their team, but I mean, do you think this team is a championship team at this point? Maybe not a championship team, but are they going to the finals?
I honestly think this does put them up another level. This trade does, like, even before this trade was even dealt, coming out of the East, yes, they were a championship caliber team purely because there's only 3 NBA championship caliber teams in the East.
Yeah.
That's the Raptors, the Celtics, and the 76ers. So all 3 of them have a legitimate chance of going to the NBA Finals.
Yep.
This 76ers deal just put them to be like a little bit higher. Like even a little bit higher than the Celtics. Because even before this trade happened, I was ranking them Raptors 1, Celtics 2, 76ers 3. Purely because the Celtics were so good last year without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward.
But they're struggling now.
Purely because
Bucks are in the picture.
The Bucks are now in the picture purely because Greek Freak is just playing like an MVP super megastar, which is not really surprising. But the Celtics just have to get it in tune. They haven't played with Gordon Hayward ever before. This is the first time that they've actually played with Gordon Hayward for more than 5 minutes of basketball. Kyrie Irving missed about 30 or 40 games throughout the whole season last year. So that's a big loss as well. Missed majority of the playoffs, missed some of the regular season as well. And then the people that had the ball at their hands majority of the time, Terry Rozier and Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. So now that they don't have the ball in their hands as much, they have to find a new role, which is a space complementary player to Hayward and Irving, which is a different role, different game. Leave it to Brad Stevens. He will figure it out. That's what I'm giving their credit to.
Fun fact. Guess who's shooting at a better percentage than just Jason Tatum?
Who?
Markel Fultz.
Oh my God, you just. Okay, so what was the shot differential there? Probably Tatum's taking like 50 shots more than
Sure.
Markelle Fultz. But hey, I give credit to where credit's due. I know you were a big Markelle Fultz fan. You still are a big Fultz fan. His shot is looking better. Not
However,
good.
however,
Better.
he is getting me a bit worried because he did have a free throw recently.
The pump fake.
Yeah. He said that the ball slipped out of his hand. I don't know. It looked bad. And apparently, like, there's just I just saw an Instagram post today where it was saying that Markelle Fultz's injury was as a result of a motorcycle accident.
Hmm.
So, in my head, like, if you're an NBA player or going into the NBA, why would you put yourself in a position that where you can get injured, like
Significantly hurt.
significantly injured? Like, this is why people play golf when they're eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You go and do something safe, but then again, all of these guys are I don't want to say gangsters, but you give these inner city hoodlum people money. They're gonna go buy bikes. They're gonna buy pocket rockets. They're gonna buy sweet cars and go 100 and something kilometers an hour down the road. Who was the one that got into a car accident in the off season? It was a really bad one as well. It was I don't want to say Wade, but somebody like that. They got into a car accident, didn't get hurt or anything, but it was the fact of they like to throw their money around,
Right.
which is fine.
In addition to this, Markelle Fultz and his shooting coach that he's been working with this whole entire time, they've parted ways and it ended terms badly.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the reason behind that?
They didn't really say. They just know what happened. So he's no longer working with that shooting coach. This is pretty much right around the time that he joined. Jimmy Butler joined the team. Interesting.
Coincidence? I don't know. I
I
like
don't
to see
know,
how
man.
it plays out. But do you think with this Jimmy Butler deal coming down, is that going to eat into Markelle Fultz's time?
I think it will, especially because Markelle Fultz is still not 100%. He's still not shooting with that much confidence yet. And I mean, now you got, like, before you can argue that he is going to be getting more touches than Rocco. He's going to be getting more touches than Saric.
But not even touches, not even like shooting touches, but just ball handling touches. Just
Right.
because those guys didn't bring up the ball.
Yeah.
They had 3 legitimate ball handlers, which was Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons, who was a converted ball handler. Like, he's not a natural ball handler. And as well as, I guess you can do TJ McCollum or JJ
Redick.
But JJ Redick, you need him coming off screens. He's not dribbling nothing.
Yeah.
So, but now that you have another predominant ball handler in Jimmy Butler, who you can give the ball to and just run offenses through, why do you really need Markelle Fultz?
Yeah. And the only thing that I could see that it could benefit Markelle Fultz is if he tries to play off the ball more.
Yep.
But from what I've seen watching him play, when he doesn't have the ball, he's very stagnant on offense.
Well, because to play off the ball, you need a jump shot. Because when you get the ball, you need to shoot it.
But you can cut and dunk or something. I don't know.
He can't dunk. Well, he can dunk, but like he's not going up with the land of the trees and dunking over people.
I don't know. He's a pretty good dunker. But,
I don't know.
I don't know. But the 76ers are trying to acquire Kyle Korver.
Really?
Yeah, I guess they need more shooting. Now that
But
they
they do
lost some
need-
shooting.
But they do need shooting because
They do.
Ben Simmons cannot shoot outside the paint.
Yeah.
Markelle Fultz's shot looks like a hitch. TJ McCollum is surprisingly not that great of a shooter. He can shoot, but like the only purebred shooter they have is JJ.
Yeah.
Purebred, but like Robert Covington was a purebred shooter. Saric was a purebred shooter.
Yep.
You lost 2 really good shooters for a guy who Jimmy Butler, he can shoot. I wouldn't call him a shooter. He's a scorer.
Yeah,
There's
he's
a little bit of a
scorer.
difference.
He's a
Like
scorer.
that's what everyone says about Carmelo Anthony. He is not a shooter.
Yeah.
He's a scorer.
Yeah.
There are differences like Kyrie Irving is a shooter, but he can also score.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Jimmy Butler, I think it helps. It helps with the 76ers immensely. So it's only going to be better for them. Makes me a little bit worried for the Raptors, but still we are looking good.
All right, let's talk about Melo.
Melo there. Actually, but before we even get to Melo there, because I know this is going to segue into the Melo talks as well.
Okay.
But going into the Kyrie Irving quote that he has said,
Kyrie
is making waves like he always does with the earth being flat. Okay, whatever. Kyrie is out there commenting and saying that the only piece that the Celtics are missing is a 14, 15-year vet to really bring the locker room together and give them that killer mentality. First of all, before we even get into the nitty-gritty of that, agree or disagree with that statement?
I'll agree with this statement. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what he had.
Yeah, it's happened with LeBron, and he could see. But then again, because realistically, I agree and disagree. I mainly disagree with that purely because when you've got your 14, 15-year vet that came to the Cavaliers, he was the greatest player of all time. So,
Yes.
like, he's not a normal vet.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's a special talent. So, like, if Kobe came, that's a special talent.
Yeah.
That makes a
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
But having Vince Carter come, I don't think that's going to make a difference.
And keep in mind, they still have Al Horford.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say as well. That's why I was going to strongly disagree, more so disagree than agree, is that you have a vet. You have Al Horford. Granted, he's never been to the top. Like, because Kyrie's got more playoff experience than Al Horford has, even in the, 2 limited runs that he's made with the playoffs.
The Hawks.
With the, the 2 limited runs that Kyrie made with the Cavaliers before he went there.
Right.
The Hawks made one really decent run, but that was about it in Al Horford's career, other than the runs he's done with Boston here as well.
Right.
Granted, they don't have a real vet in the locker room. I don't think that's what they're missing, because they do have a lot of youth, tons of youth in the locker room. But they got their one vet in Al Horford, and they got Marcus or Markeith. I don't even know which one he is. Morris.
Yeah, one of the Morris twins.
The one Morris twin that plays for the Celtics.
Yeah.
He's not a vet. He hasn't been to the top either, but he's
been
been
there
around.
Around as long as Kyrie.
Yeah, he's been around
About-
though, but he's
yeah.
been in the NBA. He's bounced from team to team. He knows the inners of it. He probably has a couple more years than Kyrie in the league. So he's been around. So granted, they don't have a very, very experienced NBA coach, because Brad Stevens, this is his 3rd year, 4th year maybe as a head coach in the NBA, because he came from NCAA straight to the Celtics, so he's only been a Celtics coach. I don't think that's the one piece that they're missing. But funny enough that he said that a few days earlier, because a couple days later after he said that, this 13, 14, 15-year vet.
I think he's in his 16th year
16,
right now.
He came at the same time as LeBron. I don't know what year LeBron's in. 16?
16.
16? So he is a 16-year vet who has openly come out and said he is not playing another game with his current team, and that is the one and only Carmelo Anthony. First of all, before we even get into the option of where is he going to land, if Melo listens to Kyrie and goes to Boston, is that the piece they're missing?
No, absolutely not.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think Carmelo has anything to contribute to any team.
Fair. Other than 15, 16 shots a game. That's about it.
And he hasn't even been making his shots.
No.
Like, I think he's got more like assists, rebounds, turnovers, steals, and blocks than he does shots made.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree with you. This is not the move the Celtics need to make, especially because, one, Carmelo Anthony is unwilling to come off the bench, and that's going to hurt the development of Tatum, of all of them, Jaylen Brown, like everyone, because now they're going to have to take back seats when they've had no reason to take back seats.
Yeah.
And the next thing is that if you can't get shots to go in a Mike D'Antoni system, no other system is gonna fit a Carmelo Anthony chuck 'em up kind of system. Because Mike D'Antoni, everybody has the greenest of green lights. Shoot where you want to shoot, and just hopefully it goes in, and then we'll run up the court and get another shot if you miss.
Yeah.
So if he can't hit shots in a run and gun offense like D'Antoni, there's no way he's gonna hit shots in a dribble him out strategy game that Brad Stevens runs. So
The only team that could benefit from having him is like the Cleveland Cavaliers.
okay, well, because the Cavaliers can't get any worse. No, you know what's one team that could? Actually, I don't want to say this as a joke. I didn't want to say that as a joke, but my 2 cents was going to be the Brooklyn Nets. Because if you guys are avid listeners, as you know, we ripped up the Nets as of last show as well. But in all honesty, that would be my 2 cents. If I said where Carmelo should land, that would be the only place where he could land and still get adequate minutes, have no pressure of needing to go to the playoffs and have a deep run.
No pressure.
But the fact is that Melo wants a ring. That's why he went to Houston. He wants to win now because there's no later for him because he's
Yeah,
not getting
yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
But like really, the Nets would be the best situation after that devastating injury to Karis LeVert. Their big man, their small forward, power forward, swing man, that is Carmelo Anthony's position, had a dramatic injury to his ankle and whatever that happened there. Granted, it wasn't as bad as it looked. No surgeries needed. He should be back before playoffs even. Good sign. But in the meantime, throw in Carmelo Anthony there. He's going to put up 15, 16 shots for no goddamn reason. But if they start going in, you could have a decent little guy right there. I don't know. Why not? D'Angelo Russell, Carmelo Anthony. They're both known to be cancers in the locker room. Like D'Angelo Russell got pushed out of the Lakers real quick. I think it would be a pretty nice fit.
And they're playing for nothing, basically.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. One, Carmelo Anthony, he pretty much has a guaranteed All-Star bid going to the East.
Yeah.
Who else is going to go to the All-Star game? He could get one. Another one on his resume because he's not going to the All-Star game if he stays in the West. That's just too loaded.
Right.
Can maybe go to an All-Star game. Could maybe scratch an 8th spot in the playoffs. Highly doubt it, but...
Isn't he from Brooklyn? Or he's from like...
He played in Syracuse, so like that's up in New York.
Yeah, he's from
college.
He's from around New York.
Is
he has the accent.
Yeah. So he played
Kings
college.
Or something, I don't know.
He played college
Queens.
basketball in New York State, so he knows the area. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So hey, it could be a match made in heaven. But like, besides that, even taking the Nets off the table, where would you think would be a fit that would work for Melo? There really isn't any.
There isn't any, dude.
Like, I would say maybe the Hawks, but they already have their 16-year vet, their 20-year vet with Vince. Like, you can't have too many old men on that court.
No.
I wouldn't want to temperament with the Kings because they look to be nice with Buddy Hield and Fox. They're looking good. The Suns, like, give Devin Booker a little bit of a vet with him with Ayton to coach him up a little bit. Like,
I don't know, man. They had Tyson Chandler.
yeah, well, no,
They just got
Tyson's
rid of him,
I was
so-
gonna say Tyson's gone now. He's with the Lakers. Could Melo go to the Lakers?
No, dude, no.
I like, unfortunately, the amount of bridges that Melo burned in the NBA, I wouldn't take a chance on him. Like, if he was even willing to come off the bench, I would cry if the Raptors took him. Like, you know what I mean? If they dealt a couple people, because it's looking like he's gonna go on waivers. So it's looking like you're gonna pick him up for free. You don't even have to trade anybody. You just have to pick up his minimum contract that he has, which is fine. But I wouldn't want that cancer in my locker room.
Nah, man.
Not at all. So Melo, I hope this is not the way he goes out, but it looks like this is the way he's gonna go out.
All right. So speaking of going out, we have the Golden State Warriors, and there's a dispute at the end of the game about a last-second shot. Kevin Durant wanted the ball.
It was a last-second shot / turnover.
Yes. And then Draymond would not pass to Kevin Durant. And you guys can find this all over the place. Just they're bickering, yelling at each other. Draymond got suspended for comments detrimental to the team. Basically saying, like, Kevin Durant's a bitch. We won a championship without you. We don't need you. That kind of stuff. And you'll see another clip where Kevin Durant is walking back into the game, and you can read his lips, and he says, "That's why I'm out of here." Right?
There are many rumors because Kevin Durant did know what he was doing starting last year. He signed a 2-year deal when he was definitely well entitled to getting a max deal.
Yeah.
So he knew that this was a momentary stop. Don't think this was the long-term deal or anything of that nature. There's been a lot of rumors that people are blaming that if Durant leaves, it's going to be Draymond Green's fault for him leaving. I don't buy that for a second. Kevin Durant is a grown-ass man. He was going to make a decision anyways, and especially with Draymond Green being the primary reason for why Durant is there in the first place. Like, you can't, even if he is the reason why he's leaving, I don't hold it against him. He brought him here. They won the title. He did what he wanted to do.
Right.
Draymond Green has came out and said that he doesn't believe he would be the reason for Durant leaving. But if he does leave, he wishes them the best. Just like the same situation with Klay Thompson. If Klay Thompson wants to go and get a max deal and he leaves, is Draymond Green the reason for him leaving? No, it's just that they did their course. They won 3 out of 4 titles. What else do you have to do other than get paid? Like you've got the championships, you've got your accolades, your all stars, all NBA teams, defensive teams.
Yeah.
You've done it all.
And
Now it's just getting paid.
KD said that he wants a supermax combo,
Mhm.
or I mean contract.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, I think it's a really interesting situation. A lot of people are. I think Jarrett Jack.
Mhm.
Do you see Jarrett Jack's tweet?
Nope.
He's saying he's pretty much saying like, quote me now. Lakers are gonna have AD and Kevin Durant next year with LeBron James.
That they would run into the same problem that the Lakers did back in like 2008, 2009. Not enough ball. When the Lakers had Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Gary Payton, and Karl Malone, they thought that team was going to be the shit. They were terrible. The same thing with the Lakers. They did it again with Paul Gasol, Kobe Bryant, Lamar Odom. Like they had all these players, and they just not enough ball to go around.
They did win championships.
They did win a championship with the Paul Gasol team and stuff,
Right.
but not with the Karl Malone and Gary Payton experiment. That's just too much in one team, I think.
I feel like depending on the situation, you can have a very passive LeBron, not dominate, and be a facilitator. And he got two young guys that are like one MVP, another future MVP. And like, why not? That could be crazy.
That would be absolutely disgusting.
I don't want it.
No, because that would just destroy the game of basketball even more so than what it is now.
Yes.
But it's a possibility.
The Lakers would have to give up a lot because they would have to give up a lot for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And then they would have to sign Kevin Durant afterwards.
Which is even more so giving up. Like everybody would be gone. They would have four guys and rookies.
They would have to lose 3 out of the 4 between Ingram, Kuzma, Hart, and Lonzo.
Yeah, easily. They would probably lose all of them. Probably all
3 out of the 4 to get Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And then like if they can keep one or something, but they have room to sign KD and lose 3.
Yeah.
For AD. So they can do that. But yeah, they're gonna gut the entire team.
Just selling your future for the now.
Yeah.
And like that's evident from the Nets from doing that back in the day when they sold out to try and get the Celtics. But now look at the Celtics. They said, okay, we'll have one bad year where they had a terrible year. Yeah. But now look at the Celtics. They're the second best team in the East.
Right.
So I don't agree with selling your future for the immediate. It never works out.
For me, I just don't want to see it happen because I want to see the Golden State Warriors stick together because I want somebody to beat their ass down. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to just be like, you know what, we did what we did, we crushed everyone, and now we're just gonna disband and like not anyone have the satisfaction of taking us down.
Yeah,
you know that doesn't sit with me well.
No, especially with you, how much you hate Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So you just want to see Steph Curry get pushed off the mountaintop. I would be shocked if that Lakers situation happens just because like ball. Who would be the man? Like you have 3 perennial MVPs on one team. They can't all be in the MVP race on one team because like there's going to be one better than the other for that team. I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see it.
The thing about that team too is I think that would be finally a situation where LeBron wouldn't be the best player on his team.
Yes.
Because it would be his tail end of his career.
Yep.
And he's going to be a bit more passive and on his role.
And I don't even think KD would be the best player on this team. Like Anthony Davis, playing with those two people with 6 years in his career, people. 6 years or 7 years in the game. Yeah. He's going to be young. He's going to be a young buck. Woo-hoo! He's going to be tossing alley-oops all day. Like it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. If that happens,
AD is definitely the benefactor of that situation.
AD going anywhere other than the Pelicans would be a beneficiary because like I just feel bad with him racing his career in the New Orleans. But like, hey, it's happened to better players before. Like people just waste their careers in some places. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know. I like the way that they're going there. I hope it all works out for everybody that's involved.
Yeah.
But moving off from something outside of NBA, I know that I wanted to talk about, and I know you wanted to talk about this too as well there, Danny.
This is the last topic of the day? I think, right?
Yeah, okay, we can wrap it up here right now. So this was the most horrendous foul. Like, we were even talking about bad fouls last season there as well when the guy got pushed under the basket going for a clean breakaway.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do. This is nothing. Like, this foul, I feel like this guy should be barred from playing basketball ever again.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like professional basketball or even like respectable basketball, like organized basketball. I mean even playing pickup basketball at the Y.
Yeah.
Like if I saw this guy walk into the gym, I would leave. I
Yeah.
would even let him play with me anymore. But like this was coming from Division 3 NCAA basketball. Unfortunately, I don't know the teams or anything or this guy's name. He doesn't even deserve to have his name remembered.
No.
But like,
You can find it.
Oh.
NCAA Division 3.
Super foul.
Yeah, like guy punches a guy on a 3-pointer.
Honestly,
you'll find it.
It was the most jackass move I have ever seen in my entire life on the basketball court.
Dude.
This guy was shooting a wide open 3-pointer in the corner, wide open, and literally, not even exaggerating, guys, 2 Mississippis later, after the ball is released, this guy gives them the dirtiest sucker punch straight to the face.
It's like a overhand haymaker, dude.
Like, it was like balls in the air, 1, 2, pop.
It's like the basket already. He already made the basket, then he got punched.
The ball still went in the hoop, and then he got smashed in the face while like rolling on the ground, grabbing his face.
Yeah.
This guy got immediately kicked out of the game. He got barred from playing basketball in his school ever again, and he got expelled from the college that he was attending because of that situation. The one thing that was a cherry on top for me, this guy was a criminal justice major. So he was learning to be a cop or a lawyer. Like,
what a fucking idiot.
You just ruined your career. Like, even if you were like a month away from graduation and you had your job lined up, that job's gone.
First of all, he should get a criminal assault charge on him.
Yes.
Which would, I think, affect his eligibility for that kind of a career. But yeah, that was devastating, dude.
Honestly, like, what would you, if you were in that situation, what would you have done if you were the one like getting punched, or if your teammate was the one that got punched? Like,
if I was getting punched, I'd probably be crying. But...
True, fair. Yeah, I guess it's different if you're the one getting punched.
But honestly, like if I was a teammate, dude, they just stood there not knowing what to do, right?
Because they were shocked.
I would have cleared the bench. Man.
Honestly, I would have grabbed the bench. I would have ran on the court. I would have been swinging a chair. Dude. I would have been going ham. Even if it was a guy, even if it was a guy I didn't like on my team, you don't do that. Even if I was on the guy's team that threw the punch, I would punch the guy in the face. I'm like, what are you doing? You just made our whole team look like hoodlums and gangsters. Like, for such an unnecessary foul. Like, it wasn't even nearly game related.
Yeah.
Like, it was
I mean, people were defending him, saying like, oh, he got fouled on the play earlier and didn't get a call, blah, blah, blah. He was clamped the entire game, couldn't get any offense going, fouled all game, getting no calls. That's no reason to punch a player. If you're mad, be mad at the refs.
I would just don't play basketball. If you're mad about not getting a call, don't play basketball. Like, that's basketball. You're not going to get a call.
I mean, that was a whole situation last year with players being mad at the refs, right?
Exactly. The whole ref situation. But like,
it has nothing to do with the other players.
Is this like your first basketball game ever? Like, there is not one game where you can actually look yourself in the eye and go, I got every single call that I deserved was made for me perfectly.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Any sport event, you will not get 100% of what you deserve.
Yeah.
You have to play through it. That is what good players do. Like, this had to be this first basketball game ever. Like, come on. You're saying you've played since you were 10 years old and you haven't had a missed call?
Yeah.
You suck it up. You suck it up, or you're in the wrong sport. Go play. I was gonna say go play baseball, but baseball's even worse. Like, there is no good sport to play unless it was all video reviewed, everything.
Apparently, this team was crushing his team as well too. Like, it was super lopsided. Good. But even then, like, people are saying like, oh, they should have cleared out the benches, blah blah blah. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the situation.
I wouldn't have cleared out my bench. You can't defend the guy. You win. If you win, you deserve to win, and you win big. Go ahead, whatever. If you don't want to play anymore because the refs are bullying you, you're losing by 30 points. Look to your coach. Coach, give me a sub. No, man, there's 6 minutes left play. Coach, my hamstring's hurting. I can't play anymore. Fake an injury. Like, I was like, just fake an injury. Be a little bitch and fake an injury. Get off the court and go and sulk in the locker room.
Yeah.
Don't take it out on a guy that's just playing basketball. He was doing his job, and he was doing it well. Even if you thought he was doing it dirtily, he was doing his job. Go play a different sport. I don't even know. Don't even play sports. Like, that's just, that guy should not play basketball ever again, other than if he's playing on the hoop by himself in his house. That's it. Honestly, I have no sympathy for that guy. That guy should never play
Yeah.
basketball again.
Yeah, idiot.
What a dumbass. Um, but other than that, there was not much else that happened in the world of NBA here. That was the one big trade that happened. Carmelo Anthony looking to get shopped around, to going to waivers probably. The Raptors are on a little bit of a downslide, thinking it's more about injuries than not playing well or anything of that nature or bad coaching. Any last minute thoughts or anything? Any last stories that you want to wrap up here or anything there, Dan?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it. We're good.
Yeah.
Got
So
a lot.
another good show here at the Raptors Den, guys. And as always, if you made it to the end of the show, you
You
the real MVP.
MVP.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.